After having dealt with the demon hound Rabdos and turned him into a literal streetlight, Solomon is met with yet another demon that takes the form of an animal. First though, he proceeds to praise his Lord God, as we frequently see him do, and this has the effect of bringing forth yet another demon, one who is certainly not shy nor quiet. It comes roaring into Solomon's presence, a being so fierce that it would no doubt spread fear and uncertainty into the workers around the temple. After all, it did take the shape of a lion, and one who wasted no time in getting acquainted with Solomon. In fact, this is one of the few instances where the demon makes the first move, telling Solomon without even being asked to, "O king, in the form which I have, I am a spirit, quite incapable of being perceived. Upon all men who lie prostrate with sickness, I leap, coming stealthily along, and I render the man weak, so that his habit of body is enfeebled." Firstly, we recognize that this demon lion is not afraid of Solomon at this point. He willingly gives up this information as if it doesn't matter whether Solomon knows or not, because Solomon is powerless to do anything about it anyway. Whilst he does refer to Solomon as a king, thus recognizing his earthly authority, it is perhaps the fact that it is an earthly concept that suggests why he has no fear of him. He proceeds to tell him that he is a spirit, something very unearthly and intangible, and that it is impossible for him to be perceived. Not only does this imply that Solomon can do nothing to affect the demon, but it also implies this feline form is not his actual form, but merely the image he chooses to adopt. Interesting that he chooses a lion, a creature often thought to be the king of the jungle, and also a creature that can tear man to pieces if given the chance. The lion is also an apex predator, known for being the dominant beast in its habitat, and being threatened by none. The idea that he cannot be perceived also leads us to believe that Solomon and ourselves can never understand what the demon or spirit is, nor what his intentions are. This of course doesn't prevent him from trying to explain nonetheless. As we've seen, these demons and spirits become quite loose-tongued one way or another, and so it doesn't come as a surprise when the lion demon tells us that he leaps on men who lie prostrate with sickness, and that he does this by means of stealth, rendering them weak. Here it can be said that he preys on men who have poor health and seeks to worsen their condition. But given the word prostrate, it also has been thought that the demon lion preys upon men who prostrate before God, and that this sickness he refers to is actually their faith. By this, the demon lion sees the worship of God as a disease, and it is those who are afflicted that he hurts. He proceeds to tell Solomon, "But I have also another glory, O king. I cast out demons, and I have legions under my control, and I am capable of being received in my dwelling places, along with all the demons belonging to the legions under me." Here we gather some contradictory information from the demon. Firstly, he declares that he casts out demons, implying that in some way he serves a more benign intention. However, because he does not elaborate further, it is unknown which specific demons he casts out, nor why he casts them out at all. We are also not told where he casts them out from, whether this be from an area in hell, or from the earth itself, or even from the human body. He also states that he has a legion of demons under his control, suggesting that he is a high-ranking demon that has such resources available, but again, we are not told how many he has, nor what he intends to use them for. He goes on to say that he is capable of being received in his dwelling places, along with all of his demon buddies that serve beneath him, suggesting that there are places on Earth where he and his friends can tread without resistance. By the term dwelling places, it might also suggest that the demon is capable of inhabiting people, or that he and his demons have the ability to possess humans, where they are received without aversion. Unfortunately, Solomon does not quiz him about any of this, and this might be because he is far too interested in identifying the demon's name and establishing power over him. He demands to know the demon's name, and the demon submits, telling him he goes by the name Rath, the lion bearer. The only thing Solomon is interested in doing here is learning how to defeat the demon and his underlings. He demands, "How art thou to be frustrated along with thy legions? What angel is it that frustrates thee?" But here we see some defiance from the demon, as he tells Solomon, "If I tell thee my name, I bind not myself alone, but also the demons under me." This tells us a lot. Firstly, it gives us an idea that Rath isn't a selfless creature. He has some loyalty to those that serve beneath him, and is devoted to their safety as much as he is with his own. It is rare that we see such noble characteristics in demons, but Rath certainly demonstrates some very human principles that almost paint him as being honourable in his own twisted way. The old saying that there is no honour amongst thieves is not exclusive to this character, for he is willing to defy Solomon in an effort to spare his underlings. There is also an implication here that Rath might have surrendered to Solomon if it did not mean the subjugation of his legion as well. There is also an idea here that the legion of demons beneath Rath are an extension of himself, or at least that they are bound to share his fate. Solomon appears to understand the demon's plight, but he does not give the demon his sympathies. He proceeds to demand to know which angel or being it is that frustrates both him and his demon host. He adjures the demon to tell him what he seeks, and invokes the name of God, forcing the demon to tell him the truth. Evidently, Solomon does not trust Rath, nor does he have it in him to go about sparing any of the demons. While some might say that Solomon is heartless, sympathizing with the demon would have no doubt been a sin in the eyes of God, and so Solomon's relentless pursuing of the demons is not something that should be necessarily held against his character. Furthermore, Solomon probably recognized that had the shoe been on the other foot, the demon would surely show him no such mercy. Rath ends up surrendering to Solomon and tells him that he is repelled by the great among men, who is to suffer many things at the hands of men, whose name is the figure 644, which is Emmanuel. He it is who has bound us, and who will then come and plunge us from the steep under water. He is noised abroad in the 3 letters which bring him down. Here we learn that Rath is most frustrated and afflicted by the one named Emmanuel, he whose name has the numeric value of 644. We understand that the name Emmanuel comes from the Greek combination of 2 Hebraic words, Immanu meaning us and El meaning God. The name therefore has come to mean God is with us. Furthermore, the name is found 3 times in the Bible, twice in Isaiah and once in the Gospel of Matthew. In Isaiah, God speaks through Isaiah to the king of Judah, Ahaz, where Isaiah reassures Ahaz that the northern kingdom, which had divided from the southern kingdom, would not destroy him. But Ahaz does not believe what he is hearing, and so God delivers Ahaz a sign through Isaiah, who tells him, "Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel." Of course, given that the name means God is with us, and given that Isaiah here identifies the name Emmanuel with the virgin birth, it is clear that Rath in the Testament of Solomon is referring to Jesus when he speaks of he who frustrates him the most, and he who he is most affected by. We see the name Emmanuel referred to in Matthew 1:22 through 23, where he declares, "Now all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel," which being interpreted is God with us. We can also look at how Rath describes this Emmanuel, saying he is the great among men, who is to suffer many things at the hands of men. Jesus, as the Son of God, was that very greatness amongst men, as he is frequently referred to as, and of course we see him tested, ill-treated, betrayed and even killed at the hands of men. We also learn from Rath that Emmanuel, or Jesus, has already bound him and his demons, possibly limiting their power, and that when he returns, he will finish the job and plunge them underwater. Having heard this, Solomon appears to be victorious in yet another encounter. He glorifies God and assumes control over the demon by condemning him and his legion to carry wood from the thicket. Just like that, yet another demon is recruited into Solomon's workforce in the building of his temple. He tells us, "And I condemned the lion-shaped one himself to saw up the wood small with his teeth, for burning in the unquenchable furnace for the temple of God. As always guys, if you've enjoyed today's video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this. Also, if you guys are interested, I am offering brand new tiers on Patreon, where you can get your hands on some pretty dope Legends of History merchandise. Like I always say, any donation is much appreciated and helps me to secure artwork for the channel. In the meantime, have a great weekend and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until the next time.